Good evening. Thank you for participating in our remote regularly monthly meeting that has gone hybrid, both in person and on Zoom. We will do our best to facilitate a smooth meeting with public participation and ask that everyone be patient as we navigate this electronic platform. We have two formats for participation, the Zoom web application as well as teleconference. Before we begin, I want to review some guidelines and general instructions for the meeting. Please silence your other communication devices such as your cell or desk phone. This will ensure that we are not hearing any feedback or causing interruption during the meeting. During the meeting, all participants on Zoom, except for board members and county staff, will be placed on mute by the host. That means that you will not be able to mute or unmute your lines manually. The chair will announce opportunities for the public comment, which are included in meeting agenda. For those on Zoom, if you would like to make public comment, please click on the raise hand feature to signal that you would like to comment. The sound will be unmuted and the internet participant should announce their first, last name before speaking. The participant will be called upon to speak at the appropriate time. For those calling in using phone lines only, if you would like to make public comment, please dial *9 on your keypad to signal that you would like to comment. The last 4 digits of the call-in number will be announced, and the call-in participant should announce their first and last name before speaking. The participant will be called upon to speak at the appropriate time. Please note, you can hang up or leave the Zoom meeting at any time. Decorum. Please adhere to the speaker time limit. Please treat others with courtesy and civility and respect the public meeting process. Rules prohibiting the use of signs or posters remain in effect for video participation. Profanity, discriminatory comments, or obscene gestures is prohibited. Disorderly, unruly, or aggressive behavior that infringes upon the rights of others or disrupts the good working order of the meeting is also prohibited. Any violation of the above rules can result in the mic being muted, your video feed shut off, or you being dropped from the phone or Zoom meeting line. Thank you for listening to these instructions, and now we will proceed with the regular agenda.
Madam Chair, I have one item to add to the agenda before we move any further. We have a second special presentation that I completely apologize for not adding this on in enough time to get it before you and publish out to onto our website, out to the public. We have a second presentation by Joe Lubisher, who is here representing the North Kitsap Heritage Park Stewardship Group, who did a wetlands restoration project over the end of 22 and into 23. And would like to add that as the first special presentation on the agenda.
Thank you. I would like to welcome all participants and would like the board to introduce themselves and then the staff. Why don't we start with John, since he's in person.
John Pearson, Central Kitsap, District 3.
Hi, Amy Lawrence, Central Kitsap.
Joanne Clark, South Kitsap. Now we'll go to the screen for the other members.
Nancy Whitaker, Central Kitsap.
Linda Berry Mare, North Kitsap.
Amy Smalley, South Kitsap.
Larry Walker, South Kitsap.
Thank you. Now we'll go with staff, starting with the director.
Alex Wisniewski, Parks Director.
Alex Hardy, Marketing and Event Supervisor.
Oh, I'm not like Deanna Tuttle, Office Support Specialist.
And now to Zoom.
Brian Hoschel, Maintenance and Operations Supervisor.
Thank you all for joining us. And is there another one?
Chuck.
So,
Oh, that's okay. Chuck Cazzetto, Kitsap County Parks Marketing and Communications.
Welcome. Okay, we need to adopt February 15th meeting minutes. Does anyone have a motion? Are there any corrections or additions to the meeting minutes?
Move the minutes of the February 15th, 2023. Yeah.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Motion moved and carried. The next section will be public comments. Are there any public comments today?
We have Carol Price has her hand raised. I'm going to call on her,
Okay, Carol Price.
and she has been unmuted, asked to unmute, so she should be able to unmute.
Okay, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, I'm Carol Price and I've lived in Kitsap County for almost 30 years. I have sent the board and Alex 2 emails, and I'm making reference to those. One is a bibliography on research done on the issue of fat amphibians and small mammals crossing asphalt and trails. There are at least 15 peer-reviewed articles on the topic. Kitsap Environmental Coalition will also be posting this article on our website. We asked that the PAB include this bibliography as part of the record tonight. And this is in part to comment on the STO, which we'll probably comment on later. Now I'm going to put my own hat on, and I'm speaking for myself. I sent you another email in regard to the article behind the lawsuit that closed Oregon's Mount Hood Ski Bowl Bike Park. A mountain bike user of that resort was paralyzed in a fall on a resort trail. He took that case to court and he won. I have previously brought up the issue of the 3 medical emergencies that have occurred at Port Gamble Forest Heritage Park. I urged the board, the director, and parks planner to consider carefully about how the PROS plan deals with usage rules on the trails of our county parks. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Carol. Is there anyone else online? Seeing none right now. I'm sorry, we have an in-house speaker.
Good evening. My name is Casey Patton. I'm with the Kitsap Recreation Control Society, and I'd like to report that 4 members of our group have joined Dawn Doctor. About 3 weeks ago, we were cutting Scott Broom on the south end of the little field, RC field, and that was about 2.5 hours. And then last Saturday, Dawn and 3 others, including myself, went ahead and replanted about 60 trees in a burned out area that was that we discovered whenever we were coming back from our hike and heading down Scott Broom. So we've been involved with the area down here by the south, but it's in Boulder Creek Heritage Park and down south about where the RC area is. So I'll let everybody know.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any other public comments? No more hands. Okay. Thank you for those participants. Now we're moving on to special presentation reports. Do you want to start, Joe?
Yes, please.
Okay, we'll start with Joe Lubershek.
Okay, good evening. Is that loud enough? Too loud? All right. This started about 4 years ago. So good evening, everyone. And this started about 4 years ago. this project. So I'm really happy to be able to brief you tonight on a recently completed wetland restoration at North Kitsap Heritage Park. The project removed an old logging road, exposed previously existing wetland, and reconnected wetlands above and below the road blockage. So I have some maps and photos. We want to start with two quick items. Financially, the materials and equipment rental were about $4,000, a bit less than half that from the steward's budget and a bit more than half from the Forestry Stewardship Fund. And I think if this project had gone to bid, it would probably be at least $40,000, if not $50,000. So pretty good return on investment. Secondly, the stewards worked with the county forester. Arno obtained a permit under the Forest Practices Act and did most of the excavator work. But really, I want to make a point here that this was really a steward's project from inception to end. And it's I think, a good example of how you can leverage the steward's various backgrounds and life experiences to good effect. The project conception, surveying, engineering, the project plan, the wetland biology, the planning plan, construction management, heavy equipment work, horticulture, and revegetation. These were all covered by the stewards in different ways. So let's get started. I've got 3 maps here to show you. So if you'll pop up the first one. This is a map of the park's hydrology, and the also points out the topographic nature of the park. So the center and south part of the park
Excuse
is
me.
a plateau. Yeah.
We're not seeing the map.
No, that's
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
hearing.
not going to work.
Now we are. Thank you.
Okay.
I can't do it in presenter mode. I can only do it in this mode. It won't let me. And I'm not sure why, so we'll just send it like this.
Okay. So you see the Grover's Creek drainage wrapping around the park on 3 sides. The center south portion of the park is the north end of a large plateau, and it drops off to the west, to the north, and to the east within the park. And we've marked the project area with a little red arrow up in the northeast. I hope you can see. So next slide, please, Dee. Okay, for those of you familiar with the park, this is an overlay of the trails onto the streams, wetlands, and wetland buffers. So again, there's the red arrow up in the upper right, and it's pointing to the cross-country trail, which is where the work took place and which has since been rerouted to the north and west. Okay, my last map is a LiDAR map, which is by far one of the most useful tools we have. And you're looking here mainly at the northeast portion of the park, and there's 3 arrows and circles, and starting from the red arrow on the top right, that's the Norman Creek, and that there's an old road inappropriately bulldozed through a wetland. As you go down the map, that's Beaver Creek and the Big Beaver Pond. And then if you go west to the left, there's another blue arrow, and that's Bear Creek. And it has a drop culvert. And I think that's a future project. It's about 4 times as big as Norman, but otherwise similar. So if I can like to show you a few photos of the actual work. Okay, this is a picture looking west. And you can see in front of in front of us, the road drops down. There's about a 3-foot dip there. Where an old culvert had been removed, but there's still about 2 feet of soil blocking the stream channel. And also finding a second culvert. The road prism where I'm standing is about 5 to 7 feet, so it's kind of depth we were working with. Okay, and next. So all that was dug out. This particular picture, this is the equipment Arno rented, and that's I think it was a 15,000 pound excavator and a skid steer loader. What the excavator is doing right now is its bucket is picking up soil on the right side and swinging it around to the left side, the uphill side. And the loader is coming down and picking up soil and moving it up the uphill along the old road. The light brown soil you see in the lower middle is pretty high quality loam. It's native to the site. Whereas the little bit of gray on the right, we're picking up a little bit of the wetland soil there. So you're seeing organics in it. And it's worth noting that nowhere in this work did we encounter any kind of road bed. There was no gravel. It's just native glacial soils. Okay, next. Okay, this is the loader on a return trip. It's a little bit hard to see in the shadow, but if you look to the right of the loader, you see piles of dirt that have been moved in. This is actually an important feature of the project. What the loader is doing there is putting the soil that we've taken out back to where it came from. That's the right side is the high cut on the roadbed, and so we're just moving stuff back where it came from, and then afterwards the excavator came through and sculpted that back to the original topography. Next. This is Northwest Salamander. There were logs. They were on the work site without permission. Next. Okay, this we moved a little later in the year here. So a major aspect of the project, and a lot of the hours went to revegetation. Here we're looking west, and the previous fall, a year ago, the stewards and community members had collected and potted numerous shrubs and ferns, and those plus additional trees were transplanted during the fall, and we finished in February. You can see in there how we've started to place a lot of woody debris around the site. And if you look closely in the foreground, and I don't know if you can blow that up at all. Right at the bottom of the picture, scroll down. What I was trying to show you there is that you can see some of the jute netting. So after the earthwork, we covered the area with straw and then stapled down jute netting for erosion control. Turned out to be quite effective, and oat straw also sprouted, which gave us some further stabilization. Okay, next. So here we are again looking to the west. And you can see the wetlands have been refilled with the recent rainfalls, probably last November. A number of the trees that came down just, were left in the wetland to disintegrate. The end result here is about 2,000. We exposed about 2,000 square feet of wetland. It was about double our target. And the canopy was opened up as well. And our wetland biologist has given us a real high expectation of success for this to be coming back. We're quite happy about that. And the last photo, we had amazing support from the community, outside the kind of core group of stewards. And that was really very heartening. So one question I asked myself, what did we learn from doing this? First of all, of course, is that we did. But also not to cut the earthwork short. Equipment is considered pretty expensive, but most of the labor went into the planning and the vegetation and the soil stabilization. I would like to spend another couple of days to kind of fine tune that a little bit more. So I would not cut that short next time, because really all we're paying for is fuel at that point. And there were some lessons, other lessons, like with me in particular, was how to propagate water parsley and elderberry. Had some failures there, but ended up with enough. So we'll be watching for the next couple of years. There is the mandatory restoration sign, but I encourage you to go down and take a look at it over the next couple of years. It should be real interesting to watch. And I don't know if we have time for any questions, if there are any.
Absolutely.
Yeah, maybe.
Sounds like a really neat project. Thank you for all the hard work. So you mentioned monitoring. Is there any formal monitoring that's going to go on at the wetland and different wetland parameters, soils or vegetation?
So our wetland biologist in particular is going to be keeping an eye on plant mortality, and we will replant as necessary. We're expecting the water parsley to seed out in a wetland proper where the water is present most of the time pretty well, because we've got it on both sides now.
And then you mentioned the forest practice permit.
Yes.
Is that what authorizes working in wetland? I know there's lots of other permits associated with restoring wetland, even though it's a net positive. Are there any other critical areas permits or anything that were needed for this?
Right. So the history of this corner of the park is that it had been ecologically thin a number of years ago. And so in a way that road was supposed to have been
So this was mitigation.
decommissioned.
Okay.
And it was within the time period, so we were able to reopen the Forest Practices Act permit. We also had, of course, to get a hydraulic
HPA.
or whatever it is, hydraulic permit.
Practice, but I don't know.
Yeah. It was kind of a slam dunk for people from let's see, we had DNR, Fish and Wildlife, and the tribes, and it's like they were all completely happy with everything there. So that turned out to be
Thank you.
work out well. Okay. Thanks very much for the time.
Thanks, Bill. Just want to say thank you to Joe and the stewards. It was a really great project and a heck of an improvement to the park. Great restoration. Or to take an area that's been impacted back to its more natural state. Thank you.
Very well done. Okay, so thank you, Joe, for all your hard work and the stewards. And the coordination it must take to do such a big project. So thank you for that. The next presentation is rec desk presentation. Hi, Alex.
Do you want me to start?
Party?
Or you can talk me? Okay. All right. So Dee's going to get the presentation up, but I will start in. So RecDesk is our new software for booking and tracking facility rentals and special park events. Prior to RecDesk, we had our own in-house, we developed our own tracking system just out of Microsoft Suite. So we are really excited to have RecDesk, and it has streamlined our internal operations, but also the public interface. So today I will go through kind of an overview of why we selected RecDesk. You can go to the next slide, please. The customer portal, what that looks like, and then the staff portal, and the outward facing events calendar. All right, next slide. So for Rectus, as I mentioned, prior to Rectus, we utilize the self-designed Microsoft platform where the public would have to submit a form, we would add it to the calendar. Everything was done via email or outside of the system, so it was a ton of work for our staff, but also a lot of work for the public. They weren't able to access or view a calendar, see what facilities were available to rent. So Rectus has greatly improved our communication and information we have online, as it provides a detailed calendar, detailed facility information, and park information, so all the amenities, square footage of our facilities are included in Rectus. So with that, I guess going back, we demoed 5 products or 5 software systems before we decided on Rectus. What we really liked about Rectus was just the customer support we received from them. I've never worked with a software company where you call them and they follow up with you that day. You get answers on the spot. If something's not working, they respond promptly. Rectus does what we need it to do about 99% of the time. So if you use a lot of software programs, you're constantly looking for workarounds to make things work for your program. We really don't have to do that with Rectus. It does what we need it to do. And then the pricing, it was unlimited users. It was, I think, about $7,000 per year, which some of the ones we demoed were closer to 30,000. So it was relatively simple with its pricing. And then it also has an online payment portal, which is huge for us. So in the past, the public would have to call in, take credit cards over the phone, process them. Now we send the invoice and they can just put their card in and pay through the system. So we're not collecting any of that private information. So back in early 2022, we purchased Rectus, and then we launched it in September of 2022. Since then, we've been doing implementing and upgrading it regularly, and we continue to find ways to improve it and make it more user-friendly. So with the customer portal, this is located, if you go to our parks website and then facility rentals, you will come to this site. This is where you can look for different facilities to rent. So we have it broken up by community buildings, athletic fields, fairgrounds facilities, special park events, and picnic shelter rentals. So if you were to click on the fairgrounds facility rentals, you would see a full list of all of our facilities here at the fairgrounds. And if you were to then click on each of or one of those facilities, it would provide you more details on that specific location. Inside Rectus, you can also search based off of amenities. So if you're looking for a facility with a kitchen, you would be able to search all of our facilities with kitchens. So it's very user friendly. I wish I could show you, but this was the easiest way with the hybrid meeting for today to share the information. So if you go to the next slide, once you figure out what facility you might want to rent, you're able to see the availability on the calendar. So anywhere there's a green slot that says reserved, the facility is available to rent. So it's really easy. From there, customers can create their own account, fill out all the necessary paperwork for the facility reservation, and submit their request. Once that request comes through, our parks staff will review it, create the invoice, and send it back to the user within Rectus. So it's all done within one system. And in the past, it was taking us anywhere from 7 to 14 days to process and turn requests around. And now we're doing it within 24 to 48 hours. And then customers, like I mentioned earlier, can make payments through the portal. They can log in and see all their upcoming reservations. They can see their account balances and communicate with us through breakfast. So it's really streamlined the customer side of our facility rentals, special work events. So then this is a sample of what our staff portal looks like. So when we log in, this is on the other side, what we operate in. This is last week, March. So you can see when you log in all of our events for 1 week. You can filter based off of facility, based off of reservation type. So athletic fields, community buildings. You can really narrow it down if you're just trying to look at one facility. But we also have it color coded. So all the brown events are fairgrounds events, the neon green are athletic fields. So it makes it really easy to kind of find what you're looking for. And then also track what the usage is. In addition, we have shared this calendar view with our contractors. So Kitsap, Fair and Stampede Association, Silver Spurs, Gordon Sound, as well as all of our maintenance staff. So we can have better collaboration on our facilities and events going on. In addition, inside the staff portal, we can easily approve or deny reservation requests as they come in. As I said earlier, we have increased our production rate. We're processing all of our event rentals within 24 to 48 hours. So it's definitely provided or increased our customer service to the public. In addition, we can invoice directly through RecDesk with the online payment portal. And one other exciting part that we just launched about a week ago was we integrated our Musco lighting system. So our field lights here for Logie Fields and Gordon Fields. In the past, our staff would have to do reservations within our software system and then do a separate reservation in Musco for the field lights. But now it's all synced and integrated. So we just have to do the one reservation within RecDesk. And that can be, so anytime people are renting fields after the sun goes down, the lights will automatically be scheduled through Musco. So it's also cut what staff has to do in half because we just have to do it in one system. And the other neat thing with that too is the invoicing. In the past, we have to run reports and then add the reports or the line items in for the field lights, but now it's all in one system. So it's really user friendly. And then the feature I'm most excited about is our outward facing events calendar.
Okay, sorry.
So this is where it's on our website as well. So if you go to the parks homepage and then under the events calendar, you will see or find this calendar which displays all of the public events. So these are all the events that are open to the public to attend. So whether it's here at the fairgrounds or up at Port Gamble or by Grace, you will be able to find upcoming events that are open to the public. If you hover over it, you'll be able to find a website or additional information on that event. So anytime we have, I did the dog show, for example, that's coming up at the end of March. You will see that it provides the link to their site where you can learn more information about that event. So from here, we're going to continue to work on improving this events calendar. It's something we really just started focusing on in the past week. But we want to add additional details and provide as much information to the public so we can support the events that are taking place in our parks. No, these are not volunteer events. These are just, your kind of fairground type events. Something we've considered looking at is how we could potentially add the volunteers. So we've been having conversations internally about adding volunteer work parties to this calendar as well. But really, that's what I have on RecDesk. Does anyone have any questions?
Well, I have a lot of comments. How long have you been here, Alex?
So I started with Parks in November 2019.
Okay, just before COVID, I remember.
Yeah,
Well,
just before COVID. Really excited for RecDesk. It's my fourth software program. This is my favorite.
This looks like it's gonna save work time. Everything in one. It's a great job finding this and I know how difficult the old system was and how much extra work it took for people in the office. So this is fabulous. Well done.
Thank you. And again, every day my staff, they always make comments of how easy it is and that they're always impressed with it performing the way we need it to perform.
Yeah,
We're very happy. with it.
wonderful. And it's very transparent. You know, if I'm new to the area and I want to go find out what's going on in the Parks Department, it's right there. So that's great.
So yeah, here's the events calendar here. So if you click on that from our homepage, you'll find that calendar with the public events. So this is not limited again to just the fairgrounds. It includes public events that will continue. So those, the green ones are those park events.
Mhm. And this is saved on budget employees. I don't know how I put it.
It definitely makes it more efficient. We talked about integrating multiple systems in one location and reducing the amount of steps that not only the public has to take for reserving a facility or creating a special event, but also on the staff side for facilitating that on the back end. And it is really, I'd say, improved our customer service and improved our efficiency behind the scenes. But
Absolutely, yeah, I think we don't get as many phone calls, which naturally that helps improve because staff can focus on processing the events. The other thing is we're not having to call to track down people with their insurance forms or paperwork payment because it's all in one system and the user can easily see what they need to do and we can easily set deadlines and track it much more efficiently.
Wow, I'm really impressed. I was on the old one. Wasn't it very fun? They were user friendly, so this is great.
And it's really easy to, so users, if you get locked out of your account, we can set your password, we can help you get back in. So that's where our staff, you know, we get more calls with that right now than actual event inquiries, but we can also take reservations and help people process them through the phone in this system. So whether people show up in the office, call in, or do it online, we're able to process reservations in all those different ways.
Now, is this the system that the volunteers use to log in hours? Or it's separate?
It's separate.
Okay, just checking. Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you.
Yeah, and one thing too that this system has is it does have it's designed for rec departments where they're doing programming and memberships. So we're just using the basic facility rental portion of it, but it does have additional areas that we could expand into as we grow down the road too.
Well, it's nice that you can tweak it to fit your situations.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Great. Anybody have any questions for Alex? Nothing, no question? Okay, we'll move right on to the Parks report. This is the director's report.
all right, good evening, folks. You have my written report. For the usual, I'm going to highlight certainly not everything on here, but a few items that rise up that I feel deserve some attention. And starting off on a very sad note, and jumping to the first item on the capital projects program there, and providing notice to y'all that Oxford, who we met the last couple meetings, who we hired as our capital projects planner, has resigned with Kitsap County Parks. He's accepted a different job from another local agency. We wish him the best. He did a bunch of really, really good stuff for the time he was with us and kind of re-kickstarting our capital program. But we find ourselves in a position where we will be re-advertising that position in the coming weeks. and going back through the hiring process to find another gem out there to help facilitate our capital projects program. There are some implications to the loss of this position that I just want to make you aware of. One is we were really marching forward to do a reboot on our capital improvement plan. As you know, we update our CIP plan every year and it projects out in 6-year time chunks. Excuse me. Our projected capital projects for the Parks Departments. And this, in large part over the last 2 years, we have done an effort to take projects that were on this list that really our new management team inherited and move those forward each year. Those need to be reevaluated, recosted out because those cost estimates with those projects are now outdated and basically reprogram the CIP. That process, because of the loss of the staff, will be delayed. We still anticipate doing that in 2023. We were targeting kind of a 2-phase effort to do this update. Phase 1 was going to strictly look at the 2023 projects we were going to accomplish with recosting them out, and then in all likelihood going back to the county commissioners to reallocate and ask for additional funds to accomplish projects that we wanted to get done in 2023. Phase 2, which would have come later in the year, which would have been that greater, bigger picture evaluation and kind of a redo or the reboot on that 6-year plan. We're still on target to get both those done, but we aren't going to get phase 1 done as quickly as we had anticipated. Nonetheless, we still have projects that Matt started that we will continue that are marching forward. There are 3 that are kind of high priority items for us that we literally cannot stop. They are moving and we don't want to stop them. Top of those priority lists is the beach rehabilitation project at Point No Point that Matt gave a presentation about in last month's meeting. So as you know, we had the beach failure at Point No Point resulted in flooding in the community, and we are since moving forward to figure out how to do a rehabilitation project on that beach to build it back up, to position the beach in a more stable way so that to do our best to mitigate that type of impact in the future. We have hired a coastal engineering firm who actually just earlier today, they've been on contract for a little over a month. We had an internal meeting with staff and they presented back their findings so far that included a number of different alternative options for how we might move forward with a beach rehabilitation project. And that continues to move forward. We have meetings coming up next week and the following week with the regulatory agencies. That is the excuse me, WDFW, the tribes, and the feds. I can't remember the name of the org, but we'll be talking with them about the kind of a refined alternatives to find out what they are going to allow and what sticks out to them as red flags when it comes to permitting this activity moving forward. This project, given its emergency status, is and will continue to move forward. It will, when Aaron Nix returns from vacation, he will in large part take on kind of the primary coordination effort of continuing the efforts that Matt started with this. And we will likely, once we get to the construction phase, bring in a construction management consultant to help facilitate the projects. So that is one that is high priority that will continue to move forward. The other two projects that are high priority for us are the two parking lot projects at Fort Campbell Forest Heritage Park. Those, as you know, have been in the permitting process with BCD for over a year now. And when those get cut loose and we get our permit and we're able to move forward on construction, we will move forward on construction. We have again some in-house assistance to help move those forward, but likely going to look for third-party assistance to help with that as well. In the meantime, we will, like I mentioned, we'll be advertising and looking to refill the position. So big bummer that we have lost Matt. He was really a breath of fresh air to the program and to our departments. But wish him the best on his next endeavor, and we're looking to continue on as we always do and persevere and move forward. Let's see, next item that was of importance to talk about with Rec Desk, and Alex just went through that, so I'm going to bypass that one. Moving down to maintenance and operations, just want to make you aware, April 1st marks the typical grand opening or seasonal opening of our parks and facilities, and we are on track for that. We have a handful of parks in which we close our gates during the winter months to reduce impact and access into our parks, and then really across our entire park system, we shutter our restroom facilities because they're not heated, and for fear of freezing lines and causing water leaks, we blow out the lines. Those facilities have been re-energized and will be reopened for our summer months beginning on April 1st. So just a mark in the sand that the season is beginning for us. An item of note at Long Lake Park, we have an old maintenance building there. It's actually an old garage that was associated with a residential home that's on site. We store a lawnmower in there and some other hand tools. A couple weeks ago, that building was broken into, and very fortunately, only our hand tools were taken. So we retained our riding mower, and the impacts were relatively small. But this building has been broken into a number of times in the past. We have tried to improve security there, and we fully recognize we have a storage and we have a storage challenge in our departments across the system. We don't have a full-fledged, what I would call kind of a maintenance yard or a maintenance complex where we're able to locate our equipment, locate our fleet of vehicles, and kind of have a hub for maintenance operations. Wildcat Lake in large part functions as this, but if you've ever been there, the footprint where our maintenance buildings are is extremely small. It is not fenced in, and it is not even sized enough to house all of our equipment. Thus, we do have remote locations across our park system, such as this one at Long Lake, where we do store some equipment that we use in those specific areas. There's an efficiency that comes with this, and that we don't have to trailer equipment across the county when we go to different areas. We have it located there ready for us to go. But it does create a security challenge in that not all of our facilities, one, were built for this purpose, or two, our parks in some respects are relatively remote, and we don't always have eyes on them 100% of the time. And so we have some challenges. And let's see, we today actually started a 4-week long class called our Forest Stewards Training. This is the second year that our Natural Resources Division is hosting this class. Last year was the first year. This is a 4-week program that happens every Wednesday for 4 weeks in a row. And we get volunteers and community members who are interested in going through the training. The training consists of both classroom portions and then field education work. And in the end, we end up with a group of volunteers and community members who assist our natural resources team in conducting a variety of activities in our forests. They do forest plotting to do tree identification, take field measurements, and overall we'll use these as baseline measurements to come back year after year to check on the status, the health of our forests within our parks. So it is a big boon to the Parks Department in the end, and just making recognition to Sierra, Aaron, and Arno for facilitating this program second year in a row. Really good stuff. And lastly, just a quick update on our pros plan. As you know, our Parks, Recreation, and Open Space Plan is due a year from now, March of 24. We went through 2 RFP processes since November. Through those 2, we received 2 submittals. And after staff evaluation of the 2 submittals, we are moving forward with a consultant, SCJ Alliance. They are local consultants to the Puget Sound region who have done a ton of pros plan updates for other municipalities, and we are in the process. Actually, the contract is in their lap right now for signing, and our target start date with them for the project is on April 1st. So we are, once we receive their signature, we'll take it to the commissioners by the end of the month and knock on everything that signing goes smoothly. And we will be marching forward for an update on our pros plan, which will be a major focus for the departments over the remainder of 2023. And those are the highlights I wanted to draw attention to. Of course, there's a lot more in the reports, and I'm certainly open to comments, questions about any of the items I talked about or anything else in the list. Thank you.
Alex, I had a question. In your report, you mentioned tree lifting, that there was tree lifting work. What exactly is tree lifting?
So I wish Aaron and Sierra are over here to really provide the actual answer for this, since they drafted that. My guess on that, though, is that this is an effort to cut the Scotch broom around planted trees to allow the sunlight to penetrate down, to allow the tree to grow up. But in all honesty, that's my guess. I don't know what the terminology tree lifting means.
Thanks.
Yeah, sorry.
Any other questions for Alex?
Okay, what's the status on the hiring for the 3rd natural resources coordinator?
Yes, the hiring for the 3rd natural resources coordinator, interviews are complete, background checks and reference checks were just recently, and we should have an offer letter out by the end of the week.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Great.
very close.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Alex. Subcommittee reports. Have there been any subcommittee meetings this last month? Nope. Okay. Hearing none. District representative reports.
The Port Gamble Park stewards met Monday. There's been a number of work parties that actually show up in there. Now the anticipated grand opening for the ride park is June 10th, so it's moved out a little bit. There was also some discussion about the brush leases and a process where stewardship groups might be able to request some additional funds, which the Port Gamble Park stools would be very interested in, because there's quite a bit of work to be done this year on a pretty tight budget. And then there was a bit of discussion, Alex, I don't know if you'd seen in your email that there was a request for a follow-up meeting just to discuss the structure of the park's nonprofit, to really understand if it could be made to better fit the needs of stewardship groups. Our understanding is it really wasn't set up for that purpose, but it is quite a bit of work to set up a nonprofit and have separate meetings for every stewardship group. So I know there's probably hiding in your inbox is a request for that meeting.
Okay, we'll set it up.
Thanks.
Thank you, Linda. Larry, do you have anything on Banner Forest?
Yeah, the main thing on Banner Forest is we have gone and added one more day of stewardship. We're going on the fourth Thursday of each month too. Mostly what we're doing right now is we're working on Banner Slough to get that up out of the mud. We've been working on some causeway stuff in conjunction with the Mountaineers and with the Washita Trails Association. Unfortunately, our Thursday work party last month got iced out because the bad weather conditions.
Thank you.
Central Kitsap Newberry Hill Heritage Park has a stewardship meeting tomorrow night and a work party on Saturday. The last work party was removal of Scotch broom again.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, just another Central Kitsap update. We had at Chico Salmon Park, with our normal work parties, but we had a trailer RV situation camped out there at the, there's a pretty big parking strip there for a week or two, and then there were additional vehicles sort of adding. And my usual thing is to reach out to Aaron Bartleson, but I know he's busy and that's not really his job. And so I started using the app, the C-Click Fix app. Does everyone know about that? No, if you don't, here's my PSA for you. It's an app that's basically like calling Kitsap One, but you can use it on your phone and you can take pictures and you can upload it. You can do it for everything from like potholes to signs that are down to, anything you see in your parks. And that gets it routed to the appropriate person at the county, not necessarily the parks department. It probably is, especially this one was on the road and it was clearly, someone that needed a home. And so the hard coordinator, the county-wide coordinator for that kind of thing responded to that. It took a little time, but the other kind of nice thing about it is that you can track it online and you can see when other people add their own reports, or you can kind of get this kind of group kind of attention to it from people that live in the area and they're interested in that park or the surroundings.
Could somebody send out the app name?
How do you spell it?
It's all one word. C-S-E-E, click, C-L-I-C-K, fix, F-I-X. And I just searched for that in my app store. But also if you go to the Kitsap County website and look for report a problem or something like that, it says call Kitsap One. Right below that, there's a whole description of how you get this app on your phone. So we talked about it at the Central Kids App Community Council meeting last time, and there were a lot of people there that had good luck using it too. You can do it from a desktop computer too.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah,
to know.
it's as of today that everything's gone. So,
Who was there
yeah.
today?
What's that?
Who was there tonight?
I just drove by there. The trailer's gone. As of like,
Okay. 'Cause I thought it
4
was
o'clock today.
And, quarter to 6.
Well, I hope they're not. I went by there at 5. No, sorry, at about 3. And they were gone. I should have taken a picture, but.
I'm sure I saw it.
We can forward some information to the Parks Advisory Board. members
Oh, that's
about
very
the
interesting, because that's
Input Fix program.
it's also something to pass on to the public when they see something, because I always tell them, don't confront people.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's not your job, but
They can do something.
an easy way to report something is great to be able to pass that out.
Especially the pictures. It's really helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can just upload it right there. And we were, they're doing that for the shopping cart issue too, around downtown Silverdale,
Oh,
taking pictures of the shopping carts that are kind of as like hot points for where they should focus their cleanup energy.
well, yeah, that's really great to know. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. Okay, so let's go to, is there any other district representative reports? I think we've covered them all. Old business. Any old business? Okay, I just have one, and Alex, you already told me that we're gonna have our portalet or whatever you say, April 1st.
Yep.
Location, where in the parking lot is it going? That's my question.
I don't specifically know, but maintenance staff was out there scouting out a location. And all I was told was they've got one defined, but I don't know where it's at.
Oh, okay, okay. And thank you for that.
Yep.
Any other old business? Hearing none, we'll move on to new business.
I have something.
Okay.
So I have to kind of switch hats here. And Brian, I think you were at the meeting down at the Silverdale Waterfront Park. And there was some discussion around the military recognition area where there's a flag for each area of service and an American flag. Silverdale Rotary Club has taken care of that for quite a few years. There's a ceremony there at Memorial Day and Veterans Day typically, and we replace those flags about every 6 months. They get pretty worn with the wind and so on. There used to be lighting. There is no lighting, which is a national violation of Code of the American Flag. And there was some discussion. I planned on being on that committee and I didn't get notified of the meeting, or I would have been there. I'm out of town now, but anyway, I said I would bring it up and let Parks know about the fact that we would, and I know money's an issue, but we would be able to help in some way. Don't know how much with some of the cost, but we don't own the facility. So we can't, it's one of those situations where who's responsible? We take care of the flags, but we can't do anything about the lighting without Parks involvement.
Yeah, thank you, Nancy. There's some issues with the lighting that's currently installed. It's molded into the concrete, excuse me. And the rubber gaskets have failed. And so what we're looking at is maybe an alternative of placing a light on the gazebo, since we have power there, to be able to shine light on the flag. So we're looking at some alternatives right now to see what we can do to accommodate that.
Okay, well, like you said, Rotary might be able to come up with some amount of money to help with that. That sounds like a good solution because it would be pretty much out of reach of vandals and shouldn't be a hugely expensive if doesn't seem like it would be.
No, it should not be. And I'm more than happy to keep you involved in it as we learn more.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Is there any more new business? Hearing no new business, I ask a motion to adjourn the meeting.
So moved.
Second,
Thank you. Thank you for everyone who attended in person and on Zoom. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
by the way, Alex, that forest stewardship training was great today.
Pardon, Larry?
That's forest stewardship training was absolutely excellent today.
Yeah. What? Obvious. Great. Thank you so much. Have a nice evening.
You're welcome. I've been battling the same.